Hello everyone, Commander Bravebelly here. Today on the channel, I have something very exciting. It's the 24-hour MRE from Kazakhstan. So let's just get the show on the road. So first we have some bold font going on over here. Looks very commercial. We have some kind of bull with the 6 stars. Reminds me very much of The Rock. Okay, that's his symbol for Under Armour. All his t-shirts are like that, which is pretty interesting. Over here in the back, we have a bunch of Cyrillic writing. And apparently the menu in this 24-hour MRE is a breakfast, lunch, and a dinner. I don't know what's what. It doesn't really matter. We're gonna eat everything. The only thing I got for you is this was packed in 2022 on the month of January 8th. Without further ado, let's get the show on the road. All right, guys, enough with this mask. I know you guys want to hear me clearly. I just thought it'd be pretty cool to wear something like this. Looks badass. Anyway, so check out this new knife that I have. It's very cheap, but very good. It's a Glock knife. Out of all things, Glock makes knives. And it's like 40 bucks, even less. Check out the logo. It's pretty cool. Glock does make high quality products. They specialize in their polymer. So this is all polymer. It's really light. So check this knife out. Look at that. And so I'll be honest, off top, I never owned any knives like these that are like slim profile, because this is like a stabby boy. Not really into that cringy sort of stuff. Really, I just want a knife that could be versatile and I could use in a lot of things. This has like a saw and it's more for, I guess, being stabby, maybe prying stuff open. It's full tang, very light, awesome knife. Anyway, let's get back to the start of the show. This very nice Kazakhstan military MRE. Let's see what's in there. First, let me see if I even need a knife, all right? Yeah, looks like I do. Doesn't pull apart. Oh yeah, it tears very like nasty. So you don't really need it, but gotta use the knife for something. Still very oily. Smells like grease, which is pretty cool. It smells like Army Navy stuff. All right. So the unbagging. Check it out. That's what it looks like. Oh, so they're already individually packed. 1, 2, and 3. Like I said, I can't read Cyrillic, so we're gonna go on this adventure together. We're gonna try to figure out which one's the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's how they look. So we have a lot of real cans going on here and some dry foods. Let's just start unpacking right away. Here we go with meal 1. Now I'm gonna try to eat everything, at least taste everything. We'll see if it's any good. Now, my show, if you guys have been following me, you know that when I film, it's more of a adventure. I don't try to read or translate these things on purpose. Okay, I think it's like a cool way to stand out from the crowd, if you will. A lot of people just give you all the technical information, which is definitely cool. There's a lot of people online doing that. But not too many people just outright eating everything and just mostly tasting, but I'm eating all this stuff. All right, so this is one. We got some kind of crackers here. Substantial, there's a lot of crackers. So they expect you to eat crackers and canned food. Definitely very different from military MREs. Looks like we have a coffee here. Perhaps this is 2 packets of sugar, and this, I don't know, but it seems like it's some kind of jam or mousse, something like that. We're gonna see what that is all about. Next one. Another big old cracker pack. So yeah, like I said, they definitely expect you to shovel down a lot of food with crackers and then the can. So these, we have 2 cans in this one. Looks like we have 3 big old packets of sugar. That's a lot of sugar. We're gonna double check if it's actually sugar indeed. We have it, what looks like coffee, but I was wrong. This is tea. So the Eastern Europeans, I think that's tea, are big on drinking. And here we go with that jelly kind of feeling package. We'll see what that is. So yeah, Europeans are super huge on their teas. Americans are not all Europeans. The Polish MRE had 3 coffees, the most coffee in any MRE that I've come across. So that was awesome and different. Very much appreciated by somebody like me who's a coffee head. I'm definitely not into tea at all, only when I'm sick. So we have one can that's a little bent out of shape, but we're gonna have to make it work. We are a soldier in the field, or soldiers together in the trenches exploring this food. This is what we came across. So let's get right into it. So I'm assuming that this is breakfast because it's one can, and I could be wrong. So Cyrillic, guys, let me know in the comments if you care to about what this actually is. Let's open it up. And so we will heat some of this food up. Okay, so off top, it looks like we have some kind of buckwheat. So, and it smells super rich and like, it smells like it's flavorful just from the smell, like not just dry buckwheat, but it's also greasy. So usually what they use is like pork. Yeah, so this looks like it might be buckwheat and pork. Let me try it dry, or not dry, but uncooked. Yeah, so we have little shredded pieces. I don't know if that's pork or beef. Let's just go with beef because I don't know, maybe a lot of people avoid pork for religious reasons. Not certain, but I'm gonna heat that up. All right, we'll see what's behind can meal number 2. Okay, so if I'm gonna guess, this is a pate. Let's see. Europeans love their pate since we have a lot of crackers. No, this is called, some countries refer to this maybe like a beef caviar, but I don't think that's what this is. This is just like some kind of veggies that are, looks like cabbage. So this is good for digestion. So this is like their veggie meal, which is good. So you don't want to be a soldier that's clogged up in the field. So what I did notice, we have no toilet paper, no utensils. So that's a big deal. I wonder why that's the case, but it is what it is. Maybe they expect for you to get that separately. Who knows? But that is a little on the weird side. I know this food is also, I believe it's available for like hunters and stuff. So I think they sell this to the public. And this, I absolutely have no idea what this is. It looks like some kind of grain. Maybe it's like some kind of rice. It's so hard, but don't you guys worry. I will heat everything up. And it also has little bits of meat in there. So yeah, this is mystery. This is mystery number 2. This is more of a mystery than the last one. All right. And so we're going to see what's behind the third meal. So first we're going to open this bigger can that's a little dented. And this is like a soupy liquid that's very similar to this one. And it has like that cabbagey kind of intense smell. And it has bigger pieces of meat, but it's very similar. Going to take a sip of this juice. Yeah, it's like some kind of cabbage with chunks of meat. So I'm gonna heat all these up, make them proper, and enjoy this meal. This is my pre-workout meal. Haven't eaten anything all the entire day. Basically, all I had is a coffee. And so I'm starving. All right, so we got some kind of canned meat with a lot of fat up top. It's dripping everywhere. That's cool. And so I will open these crackers and everything else, but let's start cooking. I don't know if I have enough of this propane, but this gas, but we shall find out. Good old school lighter works every time. You don't need nothing fancy. And so let's start to cooking our first little plate. And so we will start with meal number 1, which is that buckwheat. And now the buckwheat, I must say, is on the dry side, and I don't want to burn it. So I might put some of fat in there, but I don't know if I should because that's gonna change the whole vibe of everything, you know. Might not stay true to the original flavor. So what I will do is just make sure I'm mixing that up. Oh, that beautiful sizzle. Let me break it down a little more. I'm freaking hungry. This is a good pre-workout meal in my opinion. We got the carbs, the fats, the protein, a lot of sustenance going on here. I'm gonna train for over an hour. Today is shoulder day. So that'll be meal 1. This will be meal 2. Whatever this is, I can't pinpoint what this is. Doesn't look like a rice. It almost looks like buckwheat, but it's not because buckwheat is brown. This is pure white. And this seems very dry, I must say. So both of these meats or these cans have a lot of dryness to it, as you guys can see. We'll see how it does when I heat it up. All right, so already smelling very light, but a burn. So you definitely have to be attentive to heating this up, that's for certain. And so being that this is one meal and it doesn't have any other cans, they expect you most likely just to eat it as is without adding any meats to it or anything like that. All right, let's see about what's in the first kind of like gelatinous packet. Let's see what this is. And I do have plates. See what's in here. Okay, it looks like a jam. There you go. So this is your dessert. It's basically a jam. We're gonna give that a try on the cracker. Let me stir this bad boy up a little more. This is basically ready. I don't want to overheat it. Let's see. First bite gonna go in. Check that out. We got buckwheat and meat. Oh yeah, it's totally ready and warm. I must say that does heat up pretty quickly, which is very convenient. So this is meal number 1. I'm guessing this is our breakfast. Get that out of there. We're just gonna jump into heating up the second one, which is whatever that is. And we're just gonna get to eating. So let's open this cracker up. Beautiful sizzle going. Guys, another thing, there's no drinks here other than tea. Wow, that does suck. I'm not in the mood for tea. So check out these big old Panzer crackers. They look substantial. I'm gonna try the broken one first. Now this is substantially drier. So what I'm gonna do is put this in there, since they came together, and make it kind of like a goulash. Guys, check that out. You see that? It's basically looks like a cabbage, like a boiled goulash cabbage or so, or something like that. Don't want to burn myself. I'll mix that up. Don't want my hoodie to catch, or my fleece to catch fire, that's for sure. Got my hand above it. That wasn't the best mix, but I'm trying to do a lot here at once. All right, so first we're gonna try this without the cracker. Second bite. Check that out. Very Eastern European type of food. They sure love their buckwheat. Now, buckwheat isn't very popular in America overall, but I've eaten buckwheat many times, especially done in this Eastern European way where they also fry it a little bit with some fat. This thing is snap, crackle, popping. It's so hard to mix, guys, because it's all chunky and stuck together. That's why I use that cabbage in there, just to give it more moisture. Like I said, I don't want this stuff to burn. This is how it's looking so far. That wasn't good. Now this is dirty. It's gonna burn. The show must go on though. Just picture, we could be guys sitting in a trench. All this stuff could go wrong, and that's fine. You have to deal with it. All right, let's try this with a cracker now. So like I was gonna say, these crackers, they're just dense. They're actually good crackers. They're not bad at all. They're just a white cracker. Very like substantial. Even a little on a, so basically it just tastes like a saltine, just less salt and triple the thickness. So maybe they don't give you utensils because they expect you to shovel everything in with these crackers. Who knows? For my viewers, anybody that's been in the Kazakhstan military, guys, let me know more information about the food. If you have any more information about the ration itself, why it doesn't have utensils, why there's no drink in here. I'm still excited about it though, because it's definitely exotic. That's almost ready. All right, so some more of this buckwheat. Very, very good. As a buckwheat meal, all in itself, with the actual pieces of meat, I wouldn't change anything about it. If you're having buckwheat, it's actually pretty good. All right, we're gonna go on to a second plate. We're gonna move that over. Okay, plate number 2. Now remind you, this is mixed with that cabbage, just to give more moisture. And I gotta say, I'm glad I did, because it doesn't seem overly moist at all whatsoever. So I can't imagine anybody eating this without that cabbage. So I'm gonna set this off to the side and move on to heating the next one while I try this one, let it cool off a little bit. Here we go. And so what we're gonna do is, we're gonna do this kind of goulash. Oh yeah. This one is a lot more chunky. It has what seems like potatoes in here. And the meat is substantial as well. Check out the meat on the bottom. There's more in here. So this is definitely like a goulash. A little bit of everything with the potatoes. Check that out. We got the meat, we got potatoes, what looks like carrots and cabbage. And then, so we're just gonna make this richer, more decadent, and we're gonna heat up some of this meat. How should I heat up yeah, I'll just put some meat in here and see how wet this is. I'm gonna actually go out on a limb and put some on this. So what can I heat this in? I'm gonna use the same container as I just did, because I want to mix this anyway. So let's put some of that juice in there. All right, some of that fat. We're gonna heat that up and eat it with this. Let me heat up everything. Sorry guys, this is all off the top of my head. Pardon the mess. But yeah, not everything's perfect. We're just going with the flow here. So gonna heat up some of this meat. It's very salty, very fatty. All over my hands and messy. Let's try some of this first without any additives. Guys, check that out. Tell me in the description below what this is. Looks like almost couscous, something like that. Can't pinpoint what it is at all. I don't think it's couscous. It's definitely not rice. It tastes very, starchy. The flavor, not as good as the buckwheat in my opinion. Oh man, this is dissolving nicely. All that fat is liquefying. Give it a minute or so. That's the cool thing about these meals, they heat up relatively fast. So yeah, I guess they call this breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but to us Americans, this is more like lunch, 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 or dinner, dinner, dinner. Basically, there's nothing breakfast about this food, in my opinion. All right, guys, check out how this looks. And we're gonna just pour some over this food. That way we get a little bit of the starch and we get some of this meat. I'm gonna show you guys that up close in a sec, but first I will heat this up so I can have that with the meat as well. So let's heat that up. So check out, this looks relatively more appetizing with the meat. I'm gonna mix it up in there, and it is a lot more moist. It's a lot more fatty. Look at this big piece of fat. And I'm not shy of fat, guys. That's where the flavor is. You see that big old piece of fat right there? We have some meat, we have some of this cabbage, and we have this mystery starch. Definitely tastes much more like a goulash now, very rich in flavor. Fatty, meaty, substantial. This is something that you can eat for a cold winter's day. You know, Kazakhstan, I'm sure it gets really cold. So this is definitely gonna hold you over. Especially Eastern Europe as a whole, it's a lot colder than the United States is in general. Just because they are more north, okay? They're about the same height as Canada is. So they're definitely in a colder climate, guys. Check this out. So this is the goulash with some of that meat. We're gonna get right into that. Look at this big old chunk. It just grabbed my attention. So actually what I'm gonna do is eat that with the cracker. Okay, so they expect you to be shoveling a lot of this food in with these crackers, apparently, if there's no utensils. So we have some meat and some of this starch. The cracker doesn't really go with it, I'll be honest. All right, let me shut that off. Yeah, the cracker definitely like makes the food taste cheaper, if you will. Like, it doesn't really go. It's like, so imagine eating like some kind of beef stew with crackers. It does actually sound good, but I guess these military crackers, they don't go too well with this. They just cheapen the meal. One more big hunk of meat. That's how I like it. I'm moving on. So this seems like it's their goulash. And I'm so thirsty. Not gonna drink any of that tea. Good old water washes everything down. All right, let's see about this goulash. We're gonna take a potato. We're gonna take some of this cabbage. So the food indeed is different, but in taste overall, very similar. One reminds me of the other. Just a lot of like stewy stuff. This one tastes substantially lighter. As you can see, not any starch in here. So this is the one meal that had no starch. It only had this goulash, big old meat chunk going in. This one doesn't taste as flavorful and rich. And we're gonna put some of this meat in here. This looks like pork. It's very high in fat. And there's a lot of juice left in here. Look at all that juice. Whoa! That was smooth, huh? We're gonna pour this juice with this canned food. But what's weird is these two cans should have came together and they did not. So this is two separate meals apparently, but this stuff is more moist and more flavorful. It's richer this way, more salty. I enjoy that a lot more. I'm pretty sure you could also put that into the mix that up and put it into the buckwheat. Very stewy. And the buckwheat is the most delicious starch out of the two. And now we're gonna have some of this goulash. Again, now the big old fatty piece with the potato and the carrot. So this one has a lot of fat, you know, the can with all the meat. It's not like your typical American diet, like super high, big chunks of fat in the meat. Usually what we do is we cut a lot of the fat off, but obviously fat is important for calories. When you're a military man. Okay, so we're gonna eat a cracker with this jelly for dessert. We're just gonna double check if those other packets are sugar, which I think it is. So they just want you to drink your tea with a lot of sugar. There's obviously nothing else to put on sugar here. So I'm just gonna double check all the items and make sure everything is what I think it is. We're gonna see if it's actually tea or coffee. So that's the whole packet, so not a lot at all. It's just one cracker. At least for an American, this is how much we would put on one cracker. Tastes very, very sweet. You do taste the granules in this actual jelly or jam. More of a jam. And it's hard to say what it is. It's just sweet. Tastes bright, almost like apricot with sugar added. Very good though. I wonder if they're all the same. Well, we're gonna find out. Yep, same one. For dessert, it's very good. Gonna double check if these packets are indeed sugar. Yep, regular white sugar. And then the 3 T's, they're all the same. Tea Paila is the brand, I guess. Yep, looks like a black tea maybe. And like I said before, I hate tea, so no need for that. Guys, I'm just gonna have one more of these crackers with the jelly. That was my favorite part. Maybe I just got a sweet tooth today. There's nothing left in that one. Is it this one? Yeah. But I guess this one is the most flavorful for me. The other food, it is flavored, but not like crazy. You would definitely wouldn't put this in a category of like most flavorful or anything like that. Just very Eastern European. Definitely not surprised about anything, any of these contests. Very much what I would expect food from Kazakhstan to taste like. I'm sure they have a lot of good foods, but this is their military version and tastes okay. All right, last bite. Guys, thanks so much for watching the channel. I have a lot more MREs to come. Please like, share, and subscribe. Till next time, signing off. I gotta keep it real. This is definitely one of the worst MREs I had. Just overall, no toilet paper, no utensils, no drinks, only tea, no coffee, not many snacks, just a jelly. So all in all, I'll say 2 thumbs down for the Kazakhstan MRE. It is what it is.